him for this thing. Yeah, welcome everyone to Clobberin Times issue number 760. 60 for YouTube, but 760 overall. Thanks to the fantastic, great Stone Loki for that wonderful intro. I'm always so grateful to him for it, and grateful to him for having me on his wonderful show last night, as we do every Tuesday nights. It was a blast. Thank you, Loki. I know you were on the road having a wonderful vacation, and I hope it is going great for you, buddy, wherever you are out there, and all of our other good friends in Valhalla. I'm joined by the beautiful, wonderful Purple Valkyrie tonight, and I'm just so pleased. Thank you so again, night for me, morning for you. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking. Appreciate it.
Well, Purple, I would like you to meet my very good friend Carrie Fisher. No, not that Carrie Fisher, but I call him the Flash. I call him Flash, of course. Flash, bro. What's up?
Hello, everybody.
Meet Purple Valkyrie. Flash, Purple Valkyrie.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Flash. Good to meet you.
You too.
Purple, Flash, of course, has rode shotgun with me many years on my previous platform on Blog Talk Radio. We've done countless shows together, and so I thought I could not say goodbye to the gear, without having an old buddy come from the old days and the old school come help me do my last show of the year on my new platform, YouTube. So, and a new friend in Purple. So I have old friend, new friend hanging out with me, and I could not be more pleased to have you both here with me tonight to say, "Screw you, 2020."
Yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah.
So we're at 760.
Say again.
So we're at 760.
Yes, sir. We are.
Good, because you know me. You know me. You get uneven. I get nutty.
Yeah, well, that it was going to be 7:59, and then my friend Stephanie Janizek,
thank God,
called me earlier. Just said, let's, because of all the things going on with Star Wars. She said, let's talk. Even though they were going to have the big stream over there, which they're still having now at Drunk 3PO's amazing stream over there, talking to Star Wars theory, and they're still, now that he's off there, they got a big all-star cast going on over there, and congrats to him. But yeah, she said she wanted to talk about it. So I said, can't say no to Steph. She's a cool friend. So it was a lot of fun, and I appreciate her hanging out with me earlier. So that got us to the 60. So your obsessive compulsive disorder.
Good. Now I'm okay.
You're gonna be okay, brother. Oh man,
I didn't want to end this. Never mind.
Dude, what in the friggin' hell is that ape behind you?
Hey, that's
not you.
That's a Bigfoot statue that I pass on the way back and forth to camp. So I had to stop and have my picture taken with Bigfoot.
That's right. Purple. He lives in Bigfoot country, and Bigfoot really is there, by the way.
Cool. That's a really cool statue. I love it.
I love it. That's fantastic. Who do we have here tonight? We've got a few people here. Again, like I say, they're all a lot of them were still hanging out over there, which is understandable because it's a crazy one going over there. One of the big YouTube parties that no one expected. Over there, Lord Thothus here though, my great friend. Thank you, buddy. Dude, anytime you want to come hang, it's late at night, I know, so I don't want to oppose on anyone, but if anyone does want to come visit with us, of course, Apollonie's minion. Thank you. I hope you got both hands on the wheel because she's always driving. Tim Hayes, what's up, bro? Mando Mark popped in there. Good, Mando. Good to see you. Mando, next week let's do a show where we just talk comics. I've got a big plan to have a couple people on talking some comics next week, dude. If you're available, because we don't do that enough here. No.
Yeah, you think that would be a subject you guys would cover?
Yeah. And there's the thing. It is my root origins, and we do it here, as you know. But Purple, yeah. I'm my Saturdays are now going to be almost completely consisting of Star Trek now with the wonderful Raquel Briggs. So,
awesome! We love Raquel.
She is amazing, isn't she?
She is.
Love you, Raquel, if you're hearing this. And I send her an invite. I don't know if but again, everyone's busy. What can you do? I mean, it's the night before Christmas, New Year's Eve. Speaking of that, Purple, how was your? I know it's terrible with the lockdown and everything going on right now, but how was Christmas for you? I hope it was good.
It was nice. Yeah, it was quiet, but got to hang out with friends online, so that was really sweet. Yes,
there are a lot of great streams.
Mm-hmm.
And you were, I think, Loki had said you were working that night. We were on that Wednesday on here, and we had I don't know if you know how crazy it was that night. It was rocking. We had 10 of us here just about, I think.
Did you? Yeah, I missed it. Unfortunately, I was working.
Oh man, we had we had Loki, and we had Raquel, and we had Lord Thoth was with us for a while. We had Paulie pop in for a while. We had Problem Being, our old buddy Problem Being. We had my good pal who loves to talk Blake 7. We love to talk Blake 7 with him. Oh, good God, I can't. But Fat Steven was there. I think Eris popped in. Man, we had it rocking and rolling that night. We missed it. I kept asking, but if you were out there, but I was told that you were again. Like you said, you were busy. You were working. So I'm glad you're here tonight.
Me too. Thank you.
Oh yeah, Mexican Iron Man popped in. I can't leave him out, man. That'd be wrong, wouldn't it? So Flash, good Christmas or what, man?
It was good, but a lot smaller than normal. We have Christmas Eve, where we've broken 40 people before, and it was under 10 this year.
Well, damn, I hear you. That my quarantine ended right before Christmas, so I was able to go to a Christmas gathering, and then the night after that to a big super spreader event at a big wedding. My nephew's wedding. Am I gonna get in trouble for saying this? A redneck wedding? Oh, sorry. Avon lives with out in the sticks. 60-something people. I mean, again, because we're wide open here.
Oh gosh, I missed big gatherings.
Oh God, yeah. And I don't know. I'm not too big on weddings usually, but it was just to get out and do something like that. And of course, yeah, look, it was going to be a big super spreader. I mean, there were people that got sick. Well, you're going to get sick. That's normal life. Everybody is up in everybody's grill. If you're at a wedding or something like that, there's no way of avoiding it. Nobody's wearing masks. Not that would matter anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Avon lives indeed, Lord Thoth, and long live the Legion, my friend. Because that's just the way it is. It's the way we roll around here. We got a Fantastic Four show coming up soon, a Legion of Superheroes. Yeah, and Mark C and I will be reviewing Simonton's Thor. So still plenty of comics coming up, but it's Star Trek. I don't know. Purple, are you even gonna buy? I don't know. I don't know if you're a Doctor Who fan. I think you are.
Not the biggest Whovian, I've got to admit.
Oh, good. Lucky. So you're so lucky. You escaped that one at least.
Yeah, so no, probably won't be watching the episode when it airs today.
I think I made the mistake of telling Noel I'd be happy to join him in a watch of that garbage.
Oh gosh.
And Noel, I'm going to be spending that day dead. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. But I think on over where you all are, though, you might get it before us. I don't know. We get it later on stupid ass BBC America, so I think I'm off the hook.
Yes, it will air this evening for us. I'm not even sure what time. Probably about 7, 8 o'clock, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, because they moved it from Christmas. So
yes.
That used to be such a cool. Well, of course, it's been bad for many years now, but I mean, before that, it used to be such a nice thing to look forward to Doctor Who on Christmas, and then
it was probably one of the biggest events. Everyone looked forward to that one-off episode on Christmas Day because it was always the big spectacle. It was always much more kind of lavish than the normal episodes that they did.
Absolutely. Well, I'll get you guys' take on what's going on because everyone's talked about it. You can't not talk about it. If you're, I know you're familiar with it, Valkyrie, because I think you were at the show the other day with what's going on with Pablo.
Ugh, yes.
And but Flash, I don't know if you're in, because I know you're a big Star Wars fan, and I know you really love that, The Mandalorian.
Yes.
And that ending everyone knows about, of course, with the ending with that wonderful scene we get Luke Skywalker back, and it looks like Jon Favreau maybe trying to fix things and all this other kind of stuff. And are you familiar with a piece of living filth named Pablo Hidalgo, perchance? Am
I familiar?
Yes.
No, I've never heard of him.
Okay, because you don't keep up with a lot of this kind of crap, and then a lot of people don't. They just like to watch Star Wars or what have you. But as you are definitely aware, Flash, after The Last Jedi, there are many people who are fans very disgruntled with what's going on with Star Wars. It started to hemorrhage money. They can't sell stuff anymore and all that other kind of thing, and it started to really hurt Disney in the pocketbook, and yet they still continue to abuse fans over the years. And then they give us The Mandalorian, and many fans, of course, are enjoying it. I don't know if you watch it, Purple.
I did, enjoyed it very much. I thought the first couple of episodes were a little bit slow, but it ended with a bang.
Yes, it did. So you do watch it, then you keep up.
Oh yeah.
And as you know, and as you both know, not everyone likes it. There are people that don't. There are a lot of people in the fandom that aren't into it, which is cool.
Yeah, well, they're wrong.
They're wrong. There you go. But see, the thing is, it's what it has done is built up an undeniable, gigantic amount of goodwill that a lot of people who were disgruntled going, well, this is more like it. Please give us more something like this. Even people who just like me just think it's just an okay show and it's good. And I really love that last scene. And then they go ahead and out of the blue comes this piece of crap named Pablo Hidalgo, who has, and that's what Steph and I were talking about earlier, who comes along, who has been abusing fans for years. And when I mean abuse, I'm not talking about just, being just an ass. This is a guy that has called people vile names. If you didn't like the sequel trilogy, you were an istinophobe and all that kind of crap, Flash,
Is he a columnist or something?
No, he's the head of this story group for Lucasfilm, for Disney. That's what I'm saying. This is a Disney employee, a big high up there, works for Kathleen Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a piece of crap. He used to work for George when he was with George before they sold it. So this is big. I mean, again, this is the equivalent of one of your high up employees just pissing all over your customers all the time. In real life, most businesses don't stand for that sort of thing, as you know. So, and he's been doing it for many years. I mean, not just this. He finally stepped into it, and everyone knows the story. I'm just recapping it just for a second there because Flash is not familiar with this. The other day, the biggest YouTuber the biggest Star Wars YouTuber on YouTube, who has over 2 million subscribers or something like that.
Yep, over 2 million. Yep.
His name, he's called Star Wars Theory. Real nice dude. And doesn't get in controversial, doesn't get involved in much of anything. He showed his reaction to The Mandalorian. As you know, that Luke Skywalker scene touched a lot of hearts, and he cried. He reviewed his honest reaction to it, and he shed a tear. This is a young man, by the way, who loves Star Wars. He's made a Star Wars fan film. He in his, in some point in his life, I don't know him very well, but had suffered from cancer, if I'm correct in getting this right, Purple. Yep. And his love of Luke Skywalker and Star Wars is one of the things that got him through as a kid. That's right, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Luke was basically a hero to him, and he said it helped him with chemotherapy, basically.
This is going to go so bad.
Yeah, so he puts this video up, right, Flash, on Twitter. And again, even if you didn't have an emotional response or you didn't, that's cool. It's fine if you didn't like it, but he did, and look, it got me right in the heart, man. It killed. I didn't think it was going to happen, and I thought it was. I love it, and there are people that didn't, but I did. But anyway, and I didn't really think the episode was really that good until that part. So he put his honest little response up there, and Pablo, along comes Pablo with a little smart ass remark like emotions are not for sharing. Now that's nothing compared to the shit he's done over the years, but still, that was enough. Because see. All the abuse before of fandom ministers all over the place, Disney crickets. This one made variety. Variety, and that means all of Hollywood and all of the Forbes and all these other companies and all these people, stockholders are now going to know. Big ones.
Oh, yes. Yeah, this has made waves. And then,
so he called the guy a crybaby, essentially.
Yeah, he just made fun of him. It was just a stupid joke.
Yeah.
And this is the biggest YouTuber. Go ahead, Purple.
He tried to kind of dial it back a little bit and said he was being sarcastic. But Pablo Hidalgo, as you say, has had a long history of insulting fans. So nobody was buying that he was just being, a little bit sarcastic, a little bit, a little bit funny.
No, he didn't earn the benefit of the doubt. He hasn't earned it. He's been a total scumbag. So now shit hitting the fan, because again, when something like that makes variety, that the industry sees it. And now, even though he's abused fans, the fandom menace, as they call it, and fans or anyone who just didn't, all it took really is if you just were critical of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, especially Last Jedi, and you were an istinophobe and a monster and even an alt-right evil Nazi and all that kind of crap. And he was one of those people, and not the only one. Well, again, there was a big, Mark. Hey, Mark C. What's up, buddy? Just Joe, my good friend. Mark with a C. Appreciate you guys being here. So we're just bringing Flash up to speed a little bit. So Flash, that's huge right now. It's gigantic. And that YouTuber was just on a big live stream with another YouTuber. And they just, for many of that, they were just on with a couple of others, and they were just talking about it. And, and Pablo's been trying to kiss his ass and get him to call him and all this other kind of shit. He's basically saying, screw you. Right. Imagine that. He's trying to actually call the guy and talk to him. And he's like, you know what? Eat a bag of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not familiar with this guy, but if you say he has a history, here's the thing. You can send somebody a text and it's easily misinterpreted, and you can backtrack on that and say, oh, wait, I put the wrong emphasis on something, and that's not really what I meant. And if you don't have a history of sending nasty texts, you can get away with that. You're like, oh, that's not the way I meant it. But if you have a history of it, it's not so easy to backpedal on that.
And he has
it's disingenuous, at best.
Well, absolutely. And his history is not just nasty, not just jokes like that. It's nasty shit. And on Twitter, mainly the biggest place where all this crap goes down,
It is. And it's not just big YouTubers that he would attack. It's, random fans as well. Anyone basically who were critical of the Disney films, he would try and make an example of.
Yes, basically paying customers. And even a big, and it's funny because even a big ass company like Disney naturally takes them a long time to start feeling it, but they've been feeling it. They've been feeling it where it counts in the pocketbook. And so the Mandalorian comes along, and they get they build up some goodwill, and people are kind of like, okay, you guys have been kind of walking all over us, but Jon Favreau seems to have his heart in the right place, and he wants to make a good Star Wars show. And again, not all Star Wars fans like it, but Flash says they're wrong.
Correct.
Flash has spoken. This is the way.
This is the way.
But a lot do, though.
Actually, it's not the way.
But we can say it is, though. Fuck it. It doesn't matter.
You know, I've been wrong on many occasions.
Oh yeah, look, but remember, there's a rule about that, Flash. You're only wrong when I tell you you are.
That's true.
I decide when you're wrong or not. Nobody else does, man.
That is true. That's why I'm the perfect toady.
You know I love you, man, but I just miss you, dude. We haven't been able to do quite as many shows since I've been over
not
here.
as many.
You bastard, because you've been running from me, some bitch. Where you been? You're here. That's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. Because it's the last goddamn show of the year. But I wanted to bring you up to speed on that because, so now knowing is half the battle. Or half the cartoon of G.I. Joe or something, right? It's half of something.
Gives G.I. Joe, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it. See, I knew it. Yeah, but see, and I remembered that saying from G.I. Joe, and then they had to go and crap on it in The Untouchables. Remember when the film, when the Canadian Mountie tells that to Elliot Ness, played by Kevin Costly, and he says, "Yes, a lot of things are half the battle, but let's focus on what is all the battle," and it kind of ruined that for. I don't know. It's been a while. I don't know. It's been longer. But anyway, so that's that. Pablo Hidalgo is one of the worst things about, well, not only 2020, but actually he's been hiding a lot. And on his Twitter, what's funny about this, Purple, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
As you saw, my lady friend Stephanie, who was here with me tonight earlier, about a week ago, we did a stream. And again, Hidalgo had not been heard of for like a year or something like that. Tim Hayes, what's up, man? So, and then she said, it's weird because she'd been blocked by him like everybody else on. But his Twitter profile had a train on it, and it said under it, "Retired and having fun." And so she was like, "Did he just put that on this? Did he quit? Is he gone?" Because again, Flash and Purple, if he had been just without this happening, him leaving is huge. That's because that's one of the biggest abusers over there.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, "Dude, we got to find out. Is this true? Is he just screwing around with us or whatever? We don't know." And she was telling me about that, and I even meant, she asked me to mention it to Doomcock, and I did mention it to Doomcock, and a lot of other people were probably trying to find out, is he retired, or is this just some crap? So we didn't know, and then a week later, he does this crap.
Yes, I think it's also worth pointing out that he added insult to injury by using that tweet where he insulted Star Wars Theory and put it as his banner on his Twitter before he
did.
Before he scrubbed the Twitter page.
Yeah, so that's why we know he's not an apologist. He's not. That's another reason. That's another reason you can go, yeah, it's insincere crap. Somebody got taken to the woodshed.
See, this is why I hate Twitter, and this is why I'm not on Twitter, and this is why honestly, I only stay on social media just to stay in touch with people that I don't have the opportunity to talk to on a daily basis, such as Mike. Everybody's such a tough guy. Everybody's so brave. Yeah. Everybody's, a comedian. Everybody's a bully. Until you get called on it. And then it's the same standard hacky apology. This copy and paste apology that goes up. And, it's sickening, if most of these people were face to face with somebody, this is not there. Now, this may be his personality, but within the real social world, when you're standing face to face, he's not going to show that side. Mm-hmm. He's going to be, it's so phony. Everybody's so tough, and yeah. So that's why you never see me on there.
That's true, because especially Purple, she's really mean to me on Twitter. No, I'm just no, of course not. But no, that's right. Again, but you know what? The thing about that is, here's the problem with it. There's still so many wonderful people that I do stay in contact with on there, and even stupid ass Facebook, that I don't want to give it up. Even though, it's got all those faults, like you say, and you're right. You're not wrong about it. But there are a lot of fun people. And I would not be able to go ahead.
I was going to say, I've got to admit, I do like Twitter, but I use it mostly for networking and keeping in touch with friends.
Well, I have a feeling that's what it was originally meant for.
Yes. Yeah.
But I've got to agree with Flash. Pablo's definitely a keyboard warrior. It's probably his personality in real life as well, but he doesn't strike me as the sort of person who would actually say it to your face.
No, he's not brave enough.
No,
to do that.
hell no.
Mhm.
Oh, hell no. He's never been in a fight in his damn life. Mark C rather. EVS said the season 2 finale was an allegory. Mando was Favreau, Grogu is Star Wars, and Luke is the fans. Favreau is giving Star Wars back to the fans. Well, you know what? There are worse theories out there, brother, and I hope that is the truth. I would love it, and I don't doubt it right now. I mean, there are many people who are skeptical about it. Any skepticism is very healthy, considering all the times we've been screwed over. But there's nothing. But that's still. I still think Favreau, until I learn different, I'm going to not so much trust him because he does. It depends on what power he has, but I'm going to believe in him in the sense that I think he does want just to make good Star Wars, and I know he's not on board with that crap.
And I'm watching you, Favreau.
Yeah, well, and I'm so far I'm with him though. I mean,
yes, I put hope in Favreau, absolutely. And as you said earlier, he's gone out of his way to kind of build a little bit of goodwill with the fans, and he gave the fans what they wanted with Luke. And for that one little moment, it was so nice to see everyone happy to have Luke back as we wanted to see him. And then this happens.
yeah, he can't. I can't imagine he's all that happy with this crap right now. He's like, dude, what are you doing? Because
I'm
it
sure
made a big
jealousy.
stink. Oh yeah, well, Pablo's the jealous one. Oh, he's so
that's what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Because see, here's the thing another thing about Pablo that I may not have mentioned, Flash. He, along with Kathleen Kennedy and Claudia Gray and a lot of these other idiots in the story group and idiots who work for that faction of Lucasfilm, the KK faction, hate. They hate Star Wars, and they more importantly hate fans. They hate Luke Skywalker. They hate Han Solo, Princess Leia, whatever. But they truly despise the fans, and they don't. I mean, and they've made it plain. All of them do, and they're nothing but contempt. And they've gotten away with it so far because Disney's really, quite frankly, been very slow on the uptake. You would have thought.
I mean, everybody, the powers that be so far until this creative team came around have screwed the pooch, and there's probably some jealousy and some bruised egos going around right now.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because look, Jon Favreau comes along and he just says, you know what, look, and Filoni's with him too. I got, a lot of people have some issues with Filoni, and I do too, but he's there with him. I think he's kind of jumped on the Favreau side. And he said, look, how about we just do a show that takes place in the Star Wars universe that is, and we try to make the best we can, and we don't try to use it for politics, and we give fans some characters that they will recognize or that will at least be some and different things like that. How about we try to make the customers happy? That's what kind of you do with a business, and let's go for good stories. I know that's a little out there, you guys, but trust me on this. Why don't we try that?
That's crazy talk.
Isn't that crazy talk? Yeah, we don't want anybody to watch anything, do we? I mean, look, the comics, they can't sell a comic. They can't sell a book. Star Wars books, comics, dead.
Yep, nobody's buying them. Solo. What's the hashtag? Solo lost money.
My theory is his Last Jedi lost money. I know it got creeped over the $1 billion mark, but I mean, they grossed a lot of money. It didn't make money.
No.
And toys don't
make $1 billion.
No, it certainly didn't shift merchandise.
No. And again, merch, the first time they've sold any merch is Baby Yoda. Grogu. That's it. First time in years they've sold anything, and that's the biggest seller. Wasn't it the biggest toy seller this year?
I think so. Yeah, everything from the tiny.
How can he not be? Look at him.
Do you like him, Purple? You like Grogu?
I was slow to get on the Grogu love train, but yeah, he's definitely grown on me now. I don't own one, but I'm tempted.
You don't have one yet? What are you saying?
I don't.
You'll get one. EVS doesn't think he's coming back. He was talking today, so he said that's it. They've used him. Now they're going to move on to something else. Well, Nando's not even coming back till like 2022 or something. We're going to get Boba Fett first. End of 2021.
Yes, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what they do with Boba Fett. From what they did with him in The Mandalorian.
Well, they've got my attention.
Yeah.
I'll say that for him. I remember one year if they weren't selling. Oh, if you weren't wearing jam shorts or pajama jack shirt, you didn't count. No, I'm not sure what that means. Oh, lawn darts. So Star Wars. Hopefully, instead of killing all that goodwill, they will. Maybe Disney will jump in and do the right thing and just, we're not going to get what we really want, which is the end of Kennedy or whatever, but maybe they'll at least get rid of this jackass. And if he isn't retired already, and if he violated an NDA, which some are speculating right now, he's in a lot of shit. So
I'd hope they'd get rid of him if he hasn't left on his own accord already, but this happened, a few days ago now. It's been best part of a week, and Disney really haven't seemed to have reacted very much. I haven't seen any official statements or anything. The only reason it's kept going is because the fans will not let this go, and why should they? This poor guy was basically attacked for showing emotion over something that gave him joy, and I'll admit it, I shed a tear as well when I watched the episode.
It got me, man. And it will only hit Variety about yesterday, though. So
hopefully it picks up steam again.
Well, fans won't let it go, that's for sure. And that big stream that then they did with you can bet Disney was watching the Drunk 3PO stream today with Theory. It had him on there, Star Wars Theory, and it had Jeremy with Geeks and Gamers. You can bet. And I heard something about Gina Carano is going to be on Drunk 3PO's channel or whatever. That's huge. She's huge. And there's another thing. Fans love her. She is she's a superstar right now. And why? Because she goes her own way and she pisses off a bunch of those idiot SJWs and she doesn't give a shit about them.
And she's gorgeous.
And she is that. Oh, God. Don't we all want a Cara Dune show? I do. I think you might watch that, Flash, wouldn't you?
A Cara Dune show?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would. Yes. That's what I want to hear. We will watch that. But yeah, or she'll be on one of the shows. She'll be around for a while. She's fantastic. What is he talking? Mark with a C. Did you miss out trying to jump your bike like Evel Knievel? You can't do that anymore. No one's done that since the 70s. This reminds me of the WWE. These days, they can't create new characters or stars, so they have to keep relying on past. Luke Skywalker, Undertaker. Okay. Well, yeah, because they create lousy ones. Mark. Oh, Eric K, the Great Lynch. Good to see you, my friend.
Hello, Eric.
Hail, Purple Valkyrie, indeed, sir. And let's see. Happy New Year, everyone. Got to run with Lord Thoth. Thank you, my friend. Happy New Year to you, my buddy. Absolutely. Long live the Legion and Avon lives. I put people seeing us putting that in the chat to each other all the time, and nobody even knows what it means, brother. But we love them. That's all that matters.
Happy New Year, Lord Thoth.
He's the man. Again, you're going to come soon, dude. Next week or the week after, at least. Come on, we'll do a Legion show, bud. Oh man, Lord Thoth, good dude. Another good dude. I mean, again, and here's the thing: the good thing about 2020 Flash and Purple, and even Purple and Flash.
You got one.
I've got a wonderful one. I do. Well, being quarantined and having Christmas ruined for my son because he's still quarantined sucks. But this wonderful YouTube family that I've made over here. It's just this fan family that I made, and I'm not good. I won't get mushy on you or anything, but maybe I will. I don't know.
Yes, you will.
I mean, they have just, I came onto this channel, and I think when it just started out, I still don't have a lot of subs. I mean, I'm not a big channel, may never be, and I don't care. I do this for fun. I don't care about that. It probably never will be because we're kind of a niche thing. We talk funny books, for God's sake, comics, and we do streams about long ass streams about Star Trek and stuff, and sometimes just open geek foolishness. So it doesn't matter. But very early on, I met. Let's see here. When I started back in April, not too long after that, my buddy Mark C and I, who were just doing some shows together, and sometimes my buddy Carlos and I, eventually we met Paulie. of the great Latino Slant channel. And by the way,
Mhm.
his wonderful channel and the Valkyrie's wonderful channel that Purple Valkyrie is on, and links to that and all of them are in my description below, everyone, and to a lot of other great friends' channels. Please check all those out and subscribe to them. But I met Paulie, Purple, and again, we just became friends, and we were doing the show. I had maybe like 2 people, whatever, in the chat. I don't know what it was, we were doing a show about comics, a couple different ones, and he came on, and he just kind of into the chat, and that's how we became friendly. And I started going to his show. Neither one of us had a lot of subs. Yeah, Eric A. It's okay to show emissions. Do not listen to Pablo. That's exactly, buddy. And so it just kind of built up from there, Flash. I just kept meeting all these new people, and just started. Sometimes I would get invited to come on one of their streams, and sometimes I would have Paulie or someone else on mine. We just do these shows together, and just started meeting them and hanging out with them. And just, I don't know how, you know what? It's tough because of I have an old man's memory, Purple. It's kind of tough to remember exactly when everything happens. It becomes kind of a blur. When I met whom or whatever, But I met Loki, and I don't know how I met. It makes me sad because Loki's been so. You know Loki. He's fantastic.
Oh, yes.
What a wonderful guy he is. Now, before I started my show, back in January of 19, Doomcock came on my show on BTR, and I thought that was just a fantastic. And he was nice enough to have me on his a couple times. And then, some of those private things, I met Eris and Loki a couple times. Eris came on my show, onto my show. Our wonderful friend Eris, the Extraordinary.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, it's what a sweetheart. She didn't have to do that, and it was really nice of her. And so it just kind of started from there, making friends. And again, I've always been fortunate at that. I've made so many fantastic, wonderful friends of mine. Almost just pretty much always geek friends in geek venues. On BTR, the only 2 long-term friends I made, were Carrie, Flash, you and Matt. The only 2 real friends that I've maintained contact with over the years. And there were a couple others, John and the Possum Hour gang, those guys. But over here, just kind of, man, this is such a wonderful and up and growing community of these young YouTube channels,
Mm-hmm.
And not too long before that, and not too long, I was Loki brings me in, and I remember he came on to something. He said, "You want an intro?" I'm not going to ask anybody to do anything for me. And he said, "You're not asking. I'm telling you. You want one of the sure." And he made the intro for me. Just I don't know, just because he's such a cool dude. He popped in one night, and then now I'm a regular on his Tuesday night show. Can't believe it, man! Because it's so much fun, and I'm not worthy of that kind of stuff. They got everybody. There are millions of people with shows, but it's just so much fun. And then I got to meet you, Purple, and Paulie and I become really good buddies. And I even wrench for him, and I don't know how to wrench for crap. But I don't know how you do. By the way, Purple, I don't know how you do it in those fast chats. I would be, oh my God.
You know what to look for eventually. You kind of hone in on the troublemakers and just everything else just goes past.
My eyes can't follow it that fast. And then just meeting so many wonderful people just in chats of other streams, going on other people's streams sometimes, having them on mine. Just sometimes just going, I'm bored. I want to go do a stream tonight. And I'll just throw one up, just do it up there, and it's because it is fun. Now, Paulie's on a vacation right now, but he loves streaming. He likes to stream at the top of a hat there.
Yes, yes.
We actually, Ironman's been teasing him about it. And then all of a sudden, I have all these wonderful friends that I feel like I've known forever. And I mean, in the best possible way. And, Mexican Iron Man and Loki and you and Purple and Eris and all this. And just and Paul, and again, all these wonderful people, Fat Steven Seagal, and all these amazing people, Lord Thoth, Problem Being, and Noel over at the TARDIS Zone. Love those guys.
Those guys are awesome.
They really are.
It's as you say, it's a really close community. And
look at Mr. Popular. You want to go have friends? You want to go have coffee with your new friends?
Hey, dude. You're
no, seriously. It's great. No, I'm busting your balls a little bit. And yeah, I mean, honestly, you deserve it, man, because for people that don't know what you talked about BTR, I mean, we used to call Mike the workhorse. It's like, what do you mean what do you mean he's got 600 shows? We're lucky to do 100 in a year, and this guy's got 600 shows already.
That's insane.
But no, it's great. Seriously,
dude, they would not have been any fun with nobody to do them with, because there were many times I did do it solo, as you know. But then, man, you know, when you came along, and every now and I don't know what it was, you'd come in that chat. I mean, we had some lively, crazy chats on BTR. There was a time when we had big audiences over there. I mean,
you got a little nutty.
And I just, after a while, when you started coming on with me, you know, and we got our buddy Jobber here is with us tonight. Just Joe 47. He was with us in all those days. He's the one that is always telling us, reminding you about some of those old shows we did. You and I have been doing shows together since 2013. And you came on, and dude, that got me addicted to not liking to do it. I didn't like doing it myself as much. And you know, Minimus didn't want to join in all the time. And Tex was there, but he didn't want to come on.
Another list show, are we?
Yeah, he would fuck with us all the time about stuff. And you know, and Tex would be there, but his dumbass wouldn't come on either. He would just sit in the chat and antagonize people. That some bitch. You remember, you know, and but you and Matt would come on all the time with me, and that just became it. I got, you know, I got dependent on you guys because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this by myself. It's not as much fun. I need somebody to bounce off with, and you guys were perfect for it. And Purple, we came up with this thing. We did like these top 25 lists. We would count down some geek related topic, you know, whatever it was, movies that we love, movies we hate, which we redid recently. You know, just different things, comics related or what have you. It was so much so that we ran out of stuff. We sit around going, God damn it, I want to do a list show. And you said, yeah, it'd be fun to do a list show again. What do you want to do? I don't know, man. We've done them all.
I think we did it all.
That's what we really, and I hate remakes. And yet here I am. Was it Just Joe was saying, you know, back in 2014 or whatever it was, you did your worst movies. Because you guys ought to bring that back and do it. And so a few weeks back, Purple, we did, but it was our most hated movies, not our, you know, because again, yes.
See a twist on it then.
Well, yeah, because you know, otherwise you end up with Plan 9 from Outer Space and Man of Hands of Fate, crap like that. We're talking about movies that are generally in the mainstream that we just, you know, because I'm sure everyone's got them that we just friggin' hate.
Yes.
And boy, it was you were controversial, big time, Flash. By the way, with that shit, dude, you picked some movies that are beloved, so that was hilarious. Paulie was like, "Dude, what's wrong with you?
What's this problem?"
Oh, you didn't like. Well, you hate. There are a couple of movies that are on your list that are really well liked, which of course was hilarious to me, of course. I'm trying to think of a good example. Thanks, Tim Hayes. I appreciate that, buddy. Let's see here. Clobberin Times didn't meet me online. Off, and I've been pain in the ass for 30 years. Well, you know, you're gonna get Eric on my case again here, Mark C. But yes, I met him as a young lad, Mark C, in my comic shop that I owned. Go for it and tell me, make the Gary Nerdrotic joke about me owning a comic shop like you always do, Eric, because for old time's sake.
Way ahead of you.
There you go. You sombatch. Yeah, Flash. That's how that's a comment. That's they tease me now because it got out that I owned a comic shop. And there's a great YouTuber on here, by the way, and he's been a good buddy too. Gary with Nerdrotic, man. You know, he's been fantastic, and he's the biggest guy biggest channel out there, and yet he's been really nice to me too. Great, and I love his work. He owned a comic shop many years ago, and they tease him about it all the time because he mentions a lot. Well, now Eric has decided to be my own personal demon, and every time I mention a comic shop. You missed that Tuesday Night Tights, me mentioning that rumor you own the comic shop as well as Gary. Thanks a lot, buddy.
I like the rumor that it was the same shop that you both owned.
It might be the same shop. Mine was in the 80s. His was in 2013 and the 2000s. You've been a good buddy, Mark C, and you know it. But yeah, before that, Flash, by the way, we did a different list where Mark C listed movies bad movies that we love. But you and I did movies we hate. Let's see. I would love to get an MP3 of the new hated movie list. I'll get you one, man. Any plans to convert these YouTube streams to MP3s like Nerdrotic or Odin? You know, I guess I could do that, but nobody wants to hear mine like they do theirs. Those guys are huge. Nobody wants to hear my crap, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Doomcock keeps telling me I should bring all of my BTR shows over here, and I did bring my Doomcock interview over here. But you know how many shows that is? That's 700. I don't know what to do with it. There you go. What? You own the comic shop? I just thought it was a nasty rumor. Oh, Eric, you are the man, dude. Oh my goodness.
While we're on the subject, just quickly, what was it like to own a comic book shop in the 80s? I can imagine it was a kind of golden age.
You know, it really was. I mean, before I'd owned mine in the late 80s, I started the first one down in my area in Louisiana, and it was, you know, and when I started, I was around like 17 or 18. I helped, you know, someone else start it, but I ran it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, before that, Purple, if I didn't know what a comic shop was, no one did. I was like, wait a minute, are you telling me there's a place that sells only comic books? And back then, comic shops that did exist, they did only sell comics. Now they sell all kind of other crap, as you know.
Yes, mostly Funko Pops.
Yeah, and magic cards and stuff. But back then, it was mostly, when we started, it was strictly comics. And when I helped start the first one in the early 80s, man, the market, because you see, in my opinion, comics were never better than in the early 80s. As far as story, there are a lot of great comics in the Bronze Age right before that. And even in, of course, some of the greatest stuff is the Silver Age. But man, the alternative market, you got to remember, this is the time where Frank Miller was just getting big. John Byrne was just getting big, and a lot of these other ones. And yep, that's the name of it right there. My shop was called Mega City Comics because I'm a Judge Dredd fan.
Oh, cool.
And I named it after that mythical city. And before that, I ran Southland Comics, and that was the beginning of the direct sales market, which means comics that were exclusively through comic book shops. And God, there were so many good comics. And the big two were kind of getting in trouble and having to keep up with the comics aimed at older readers. So that's why you got stuff like Alan Moore come along with the Swamp Thing stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with Moore and the things he's done. His Watchmen, and then Miller's Dark Knight, Miller's Ronin, and you know, then later leading into the Vertigo stuff with Sandman and
love Sandman, and V for Vendetta is one of my all-time favorites.
Yes, V for Vendetta. You know, a couple months back, Carlos and I did a Alan Moore show, the works of Alan Moore, all of us, because you know, I've been such an Alan Moore freak all of my life that I once thought about writing a book about all of his 80s and 90s. Well, his best career, his 20-year span of all the great stuff, because I have it all, and I read it all so much time. It was so much of it was so great, and but V for Vendetta, you know. It started in Warrior magazine, the British magazine, and it was chopped up into that, and it didn't finish till, it took like a decade for that thing to finish, you know, but the comic, in my opinion, is a far better story than the movie. And the movie's good. I like it, but
yeah, I like the movie. I'm nothing against the movie, but it's so much more in depth in the comic.
Yes, and that's the way it usually is with anything, especially with adapting Moore's stuff. But, oh God, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was great because at that time that was, you know how now the comics industry is almost non-existent and they barely print. The print runs are in the low thousands and all this other kind of crap. Back then, there were no video games to compete with. You had to bring a bunch of quarters to an arcade if you wanted to play a video game. There was just movies, you know, and books and comics, and therefore they were huge. And they were going through a renaissance and finally getting a lot of media attention because of Watchmen and Miller's Dark Knight, and then which led to the '89 Batman film by Tim Burton, you know. And so that was a huge time for comic shops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And after I finally ended up losing mine in the '90s, early '90s, I went and ran another one for a friend and worked, you know, for a number of years at a different one in New Orleans in the '90s. So it was a very, again, I know, and there's the thing, I'd love to talk to Gary about what it was like in his year in the 2000s, because by then I was going to comic shops, but I wasn't working in them anymore, running any of them. So it's very different, I think.
Yes, it is sad to see them decline so much. I'm lucky because we've got one big franchise, which is Forbidden Planet, and then we've got a dedicated comic book store still in the city where I live. Just about holding on, but even they've had to kind of branch out, and they do a lot of anime and toys now as well as comics, but you can still get back issues.
Nice. I've always wanted to go to Forbidden Planet. I mean, it's just gigantic, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a really cool store.
Man.
I just love it because they sell hot toys.
Oh yeah. Do you buy a lot of hot toys? Because those are expensive.
I wish I could. No, I just tend to just look.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Tom Strong was great, Mark. Love it. We talked a lot about that on our show. We covered almost his all of the best parts of his career, and that was one of them. And of course, Alan Moore used to go in there at Forbidden Planet, but he doesn't. I think he lives in his castle now.
Yes, I think Alan Moore's just retreated from real life.
Now, see, Flat. I would look. I mean, Looney or not, he wrote some of my favorite comics. I'd love to meet him too. That was, he might cast a spell on me though, or something. But a kid probably couldn't do much damage. Flash stopped buying comics a long time ago, didn't you, dude? I mean,
oh yeah,
you've been out of it for a while. He was a Spider-Man fanatic.
Yeah, it's been. When was the Clone Saga?
Yeah, haven't we abused you enough over liking the Clone Saga?
Get off my case, all right?
Well, you're the only one that likes it, fucker.
I'm not the only one.
You're not.
I'm sure there's another person out there somewhere.
That's true. I forgot about that. There was a guy that when I did a show with back in the early, like 2010 or 11 or something, who was defending it, and we did a whole big show about that. There's one other guy.
That's actually what prompted me to quit, because the whole purpose of this storyline was to shake the status quo up, because fans, like fans of any other medium, were moaning, same old, this is boring, this is the same old. So they shook things up, and then the fans got mad, and they put things back the way it was, and the first thing out of their mouths was same old. I'm like, you know what, I'm out, I'm done.
And it took forever, though. The damn thing. I mean, he was Ben Reilly for years, Scarlet Spider for a long time, though.
Yeah.
They drug that thing out.
Yeah, they shook things up, and I'm like, okay, well, this is interesting. I'll see where this goes. And then they immediately backtracked on it in the most hackneyed way possible. And I'm like, yeah, I'm out.
Well, welcome to comics.
And I walked away and never went back.
Wow. Did you buy any on a regular basis, Purple? Did you have any comics you collected regularly? Now, even if you're doing it? Or?
Honestly, I never really had the room to buy comic books as individuals, but I've always bought the trades. I know 24/7 would hate that.
You are in trouble. 24 if you have to listen, don't kill us.
I hope he's not listening. I'm sorry, honey. But yeah, I tend to buy the trade books. I mean, I do have a couple of long boxes of individual comics, mostly Batman. But I just like the books, I've got to admit. I just bought them to read rather than collect.
Something, and again, I love my boy 24, and I do love collecting. I can't afford to collect comics either. I have some friends who are some hardcore collectors, and he's one, and I love that. Don't get me wrong, but you got to have trades, because even if I were able to do that again, like have hardcore collecting and I would want them all. I would want to, collect the issues. I still like to have the trades and everything, because you don't want to open up your issues. Those old comics that are not. You don't want to flip through them and mess. So I love the fact that you have these nice trades or these hardcovers, because it's about this. Ultimately, it's not about the collecting is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but I love them for the characters and the story and the art.
Yes, yeah. You buy a book to read it.
Yes,
not for how much it might be worth in the future or how much it's worth now, unless you are a serious collector, obviously.
I did not take comics off my new rack and jack them up and put them on the wall like a lot of comic shops did, and it pissed a lot of people off, including other dealers. And I was like, "Screw this! I'm not gonna. I would limit quantities for people trying to pull that crap with other shops." And I'd say that's staying on the rack for as long as it stays on that rack. And if enough months pass by, eventually you put them in the back issues and things like that. But it's cover price forever, unless I pay more for it as a back issue.
When you had your shop, did people kind of try to buy multiple copies if they thought they were going to be worth something? Was that a thing back
Oh
then?
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
they were all. When I first opened my own shop in 1988, the first day it was open was the first day that Batman: The Killing Joke came out,
Oh gosh.
and I had a pretty decent opening clientele because I'd ran that shop earlier years before, so that came over. But I jacked my order up way. I ordered tons of it, and a lot of people saying you're gonna get stuck with this thing. And I was like, I've made my mistakes in ordering before, but I don't think so. And yes, I had people from other shops coming in trying to buy 10 and 20 and limited quantities. I said, no, I want customers having first shot at this in a few weeks or something, maybe. But, and of course, there's up to like, I don't know how many, God, Mark, see how many printings are there of that now? I still have the first printing, which is, you can tell by the cover of the color of the logo on the covers. How many printings are they up to now with Killing Joke? It's insane. But that first printing's worth, I don't know what it's worth right now, if it's worth a lot or whatever I think it is. But yeah, that one and a couple other ones. Yes, I had many times people want to buy multiples. And if I would be on to, if it, again, you want to buy 2, okay. If you're buying 5 or 6, you're bringing them, you're trying to hawk them in another shop. I said, no, I want my customers to have first shot at this thing cover price.
I'd imagine something like the Death of Superman, you would have had the same thing going on.
Yes, I was at that time. I'd stopped. I was doing something else when I was helping a friend's shop, and I remember he had a big radio promotion for that and all that other kind of stuff. And when Superman number 75 came out, I was an a-hole. I went. He had like line around the block, and it was a big promotion. And that comic, I don't know if you've ever seen it, came in a black bag.
Yes, it did. Yep.
And it had a black armband, right? And you could only buy. He was kind of limiting quantities. At this point, you could only buy 1 or so. And I walk in there, and he let me into the front of the line. We're hanging out inside, and I bought it, and I opened it in front of everybody, and I just whipped the bag open. What are you doing? I said, screw this, because at the time I was pissed off. Not that they were killing Superman. It was just a stupid comic. I didn't like what they were doing with the character anyway. And I thought this was a really dumb gimmick. So I didn't give a shit. And yeah, it became worth a while later, but I had more enjoyment ripping it out of that bag, looking at the comic and saying, this is a piece of crap. And I just kind of rumpled it up. And I said, but this armband's really cool. I'm going to keep this. And I put it in my truck for like years. I hung it from my rear view mirror. And people were like, that's going to be worth something. And I said, it's not worth shit if it's not a good story. Now, many people like that story. I didn't.
You're a troublemaker.
And I was just being an ass. And he's sitting there and he's going, oh, he said, yep, we all know he's an asshole. That was a friend of mine. My friend Carl Tupper, who was a comic book legend in New Orleans and in Louisiana and into the South, and he was the kind of guy that kind of had a couple shops, and he had the kind of power he could call Marvel or DC offices and just give them some shit. And he had kind of this old gravelly voice. He sat in a wheelchair, and he was just one of the greatest friends ever. I'm about to start crying because I miss him. He's been gone a while, and he would say shit like, you know what? I knew you'd come in here and be a friggin' asshole in front of everybody, but that's kind of why I let you do it. He didn't care. Carl was, he without him, I would never have had my shop in the first place, and he was a real good friend. And yet I treat him like that by being an ass in front of his customers, but it's fun.
He sounds like he was a real character.
Oh, good God. He would. Put it this way: the way he would talk to women, he would get away with it because he was in a wheelchair. But it would be sexual harassment today. They laughed at it because he's just joking around, but he talked like this, and there's nothing he wouldn't say. I'd be in the back of the shop working, doing something, and he would yell. I'm not even going to say the words, but he would say, "Mike, suck the mother," and I can't say it. With old ladies in the shop, he didn't give a shit. Kids, old ladies, Mike. Come over here, you stupid motherfucker, or whatever. You just yell at and scream at me like cursing and shit, or making jokes, and the most inappropriate. Oh, I love that man. I know it's hard to believe me being an a-hole. Flash just can't believe it.
I'm stunned.
Yeah.
New Year's revelations instead of resolutions.
One shitty comic shop owner would sell popular issues that were on the pull list and say he got shorted. Bastard still owes me the McFarlane Hulk Wolverine issue. Wow, damn, dude, I remember that cover. Still owes you that one. We need to get that thing out of him for you. Yeah, yeah. This. Oh, well, they. I think you're probably referring to the Killing Joke, then, eh, Mark? The printing started to suck when they recolored the book. I know they changed the color of the opening of the embossed logo on the Killing Joke. You know, at that time, we were all excited about Batman: The Killing Joke. I don't know if either of you ever read it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I got a copy.
We were pretty excited about it, and Alan Moore even regretted it later because it was pretty. And then Grant Morrison, that asshole, because he hates Alan Moore, he insists that Batman kills the Joker on the last page.
Yes.
Do you think he does?
No, I just think
don't either.
He beats the hell out of him.
Well, he hates Moore. And Moore says, no, he didn't. He said, no, he didn't. He didn't kill him, you little bastard. You know, the Moore talk. And now I hate all of comic books, and anyone who buys a comic is a fucking idiot. This 40-year-old man writing comic book movies. I'm sorry.
I like Alan Moore. I can never quite tell if he's trolling people or not, though.
I think he's just crazy, but I still love him. I love his work, but I think he hates his own stuff. I mean, he hates Watchmen now.
Oh, he hates the movies, most certainly.
Yeah, but I believe him when he says he never watched the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Watchmen movie. He probably never watched V either.
No, and if he's smart, he would never have watched League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes, yeah, and well, not only that, he also. I know. There's no way he watched that.
Or From Hell.
Or From Hell. He didn't watch any of them. I doubt it anyway. You know, you never know. Maybe he did and he just didn't want to say it. But I think he's the kind of guy that probably really wouldn't watch him. Look, he gave all the money for Watchmen to Dave Gibbons. Took his name off of it. His name's not only is his name off of that, when Marvel ended up getting the rights back, the rights to reprint Miracle Man, which used to be Marvel Man, in the States. I think Neil Gaiman owns it now. They couldn't, Moore didn't want his name in there. So Moore won't let his name be in a Marvel comic. So it was written by, and it says in that reprint, by the original writer.
And then it's up to people to go find out who the original writer was.
Exactly. Yep. Oh, here we go. So did Flash, did you see Wonder Woman 1984? I mean, 84.
I have not.
Purple. Did you?
I did. That's 2.5 hours of my life I'm never going to get back.
But you couldn't wish for it back, I guess.
No.
Well, I won't spoil you, Flash. Are you waiting to see it? Are you, Flash, or do you give a flying crap?
I don't really care.
Good, because it sucks, man. I wouldn't have spoiled you if you didn't. I mean, that's not a spoiler, really. Saying something sucks. By the way, it is 2000, almost 21. Is saying something sucks a spoiler now? Purple, I'm not sure. Is that a spoiler?
No, I'd never say saying something sucks is a spoiler. You have to be specific as to why it sucks.
Fair enough. I'm just making sure because the rules keep changing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. So, Flash, it sucks donkeys.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. So don't do it. Nobody do it if you haven't seen. I mean, don't go to a theater, at least, which I didn't, and I guess you didn't either, Purple.
No, I found it via other means.
Yes, good. So I didn't pay either.
Yes, exactly.
A wonderful lady friend of mine loaned me her log on for HBO Max. And by the way, that's a crappy service. It buffers a lot. I don't know if you've used it on there, but anyway, it sucks. So, oh shit, that's true. By the way, not to detour, yeah, when DC made the Killing Joke film, they had Batman sleep with Batgirl. That was a piece of trash. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was a terrible film. The bit where they actually stuck to the Killing Joke was fine, but the extra padding that they put in just to kind of lengthen the film was just ridiculous. And that bit with Barbara, I hated.
Yeah, it was horrible because I'm with you. Once they got to the Killing Joke stuff, I mean, it was fairly well done. Even that song that the Joker sang was kind of funny, but Steve Mitchum, thanks for being here, my friend. You're never late, bro. But it sucks. God almighty. Oh my God. WW 84. By the way, that's the title in the film. They don't ever call it Wonder Woman.
No, they
Spoiler.
don't call her Wonder Woman. No.
Yeah, she spoiler WW grapes somebody. She does grape somebody, I guess. Is that what you would call it, though? Do you think that's really what it is?
Technically, I guess, yeah, because of the circumstances. You know, the guy wasn't aware of what was going on.
Yeah, I think the reason why we harp on it is because if it had been the other way around, we know what would happen, or the outcry that would be going on.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't hear the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just a piece of God. Again, because we've talked it to death, and that's fine. Anyone wants to watch it. But you see, the basic thing about this movie that I don't understand is how Jeff Johns could write such an unbelievably stupid script. They're bad. I think, in my opinion, I still think there are worse superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there may not be a stupider one though.
No, I think my biggest problem was it was boring, and a Wonder Woman film should never be boring.
Yeah, at least the first one wasn't boring.
Mm-hmm. That and it seemed to have been edited by about half a dozen different people.
Yeah, Mark C says I heard a lot of people say the Hans Zimmer score for WW84 was good. It's not an original score. It got pieces from BVS, Danny Boyle's Sunshine. I think parts of the Thin Red Line. Yeah, that's what I hear. I think R&B was talking about that as well.
Yeah, and you would have thought a film set in 1984 would have had an 80s soundtrack.
Yeah. What is the thought process there? You think they were thinking, look, because Guardians of the Galaxy and all these movies do it a lot. Maybe we shouldn't. I don't know, but you would have thought you'd have heard a lot of 80s music in it. And they say it's in the. I say that some in the credits. I don't remember hearing any. Of course, maybe we were so bored our eyes were glazed over and our ears were just kind of blow.
Yeah, I skipped the credits after the extra end scene. I was like, nope, I'm done.
Well, I don't think Flash is going to watch it. You didn't watch. Did you watch the other Wonder Woman Flash? The first one?
I did. Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I'm kind of right there with you. I thought it was okay. Purple, did you like that first one?
I did, yeah. I thought the first 2/3 of the film were really good. I didn't particularly like the battle at the end. I thought that was kind of stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like that either. But what about Aquaman Flash? Did you watch that?
Yeah.
And you liked it or no?
It was okay. It's something I probably never need to watch again. But I mean, wasn't horrible. But I felt a little let down because everybody was like, "Oh, it's so good, it's so good," and I'm like, "It's okay, it's all right."
Purple.
I liked it. Yeah, I thought Jason Momoa did a really great job. It was fun. I'm not the biggest fan of Aquaman anyway, so it was kind of
who is
me. I knew he was going to do that.
I was kind of coming at it as a real kind of layman, but much rather not have had Amber Heard in it.
Oh shit! There's a thing. That movie seems to have that reaction. It's like, yeah, it was kind of cool when you first see it, and then you walk out and you kind of forget it, and you go, yeah, this is amicable. It's amicable enough, but you don't really get all that thrilled about it. That's kind of the way I was about Aquaman as well. I'm like, yeah, it was fun. It was kind of cool for a while, and I'm kind of there with Flash. It's another one. I'm like, yeah, it was okay, but I really don't need to. No big desire to see it again, really.
Mm-hmm. No.
Mark with a C. Why did Steve come back as a man? Seems like a sexist decision. Steve Trevor. That's right. He should have been a woman. Steve Trevor used to come back. He used to die and come back in the old Silver and Bronze Age comics all the time. It used to be a running joke about that kind of thing. Could have done without the fact that all the white guys besides Steve Trevor being power hungry, sexist. It was men bad all over the place.
Oh yeah. They'd laid that on thick,
big time, and it's like, and they even threw the old bad dad trope in there.
Yeah, I was really disappointed with Pedro Pascal.
Me too. Just over the top. Does Purple Factory ever sleep? No.
Occasionally Project Storytime, but as I was telling Clobberin Times, we've just gone back into lockdown, so sleep isn't an issue anymore because I'm not allowed to leave the house.
Oh yeah, they got locked down over there, man. Hey, Jobber, buddy, thank you for being here. You got to run. I know. Look, Happy New Year to you, and we just all we want from you, Jobber, is for you not to hate Flash for his hate list. Flash, do you have anything to say to Jobber? Any apology?
Jobber loves me.
We know he does. I was just kidding. I was just trying to start up some shit between you.
Well, it's not going to work, troublemaker.
Yeah. Oh, but I will not see Aquaman 2 if Amber Turd is in it. Yeah. Well, I can't blame you there, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Project Storytime, by the way, thank you for being here, sir. Appreciate it. By the way, Flash, because what was the movies that was so controversial on your hate list? I had a couple, but let me see here. Mark C, do you remember which one that Flash deserved to be?
I didn't see the chat room, so I don't know what ruffled feathers.
Well, Mark C, what movie on Flash's hate list, if you can recall, did he deserve to be flogged for having on his list? I know one. Oh shit, man! If our buddy Shoemaker had been here, dude, I can't. This is one I can't believe. I can believe you not being into it, but being on your top 25 hated list, this is one even I.
Oh, what is it?
Aliens
I hate aliens.
By James Cameron.
I hate aliens.
But you gotta I know you hate it, but you gotta admit that's usually a pretty popular film.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I mean,
I guess. Not for me.
Oh, you tore it to pieces and it was hilarious. But look,
I hate it.
I can love a movie, and if you tear it to pieces, I'll still think it's funny. I mean,
I despise it. I hate that movie. Because the first one's so good, and it's not even the sequel doesn't live up to it. I just thought it was dumb. It was just like watching a 2-hour video game. It was like when there wasn't action going on, it was boring. So you had these long stretches of just nothing going on. And then you bring in this cast of stock stereotype soldiers. You got the one with the cigar in his mouth. Come on, sweetheart. You got the wisecracking guy. It's all check. The tough sergeant with the cigar in his mouth. Check. The guy who could be cowardly. Check. The tough chick. Check. The square-jawed hero. Check. And I've seen these people 1,000 times, and I didn't care if any of them died. I was actually hoping the aliens would get them all, because they were all just so annoying. But that's my problem I have with Rogue One. It's all the stock characters are all accounted for here. They're all here. All those old war movie tropes, they're all right here. Every stupid stereotype you could think of, every cardboard, one-dimensional recruitment poster you can think of is right here.
I'd agree with that, absolutely.
I hate aliens. And then it's got this excessive stretch where everything's shot in like shaky cam and a red lens, and it seems to go on forever. It's just,
we have a friend, Purple, who is a buddy of mine that used to do shows with me when I was doing NFL shows. A good buddy, Michael Shoemaker, as you know, Flash. Aliens is his all-time favorite movie. I mean, he just loves it. Now, I do love the movie, but still, it could be a movie I love, and if someone's tearing it to pieces, I think it's funny because I'm just a sicko, I guess. But he didn't. And again, he's cool. He's not like mad at somebody for not liking it, but man, he gets a lot of crap from people. Because of after that, people started like just trashing the movie on his Facebook page just to screw with him.
Aliens?
Yeah.
Okay. They were just trolling
you. I guess. I guess because of that
in my lap.
But to be fair though, you've taken a lot of shit off of people for liking movies that people hate. So,
And I admit they're not very good.
That's fantastic. Oh God, that was funny. Yeah, Project Storytime. Alan Moore is the grumpiest man to ever grump. So get out of my fucking case with you stupid man babies, your bloody comic books. I don't like superheroes anymore. Fuck you, Marvel and DC. If you watch superhero movies, you're a fucking loser. But basically, he said, "I'm sorry, I know I can't do a good Alan Moore, but it was he does say shit like that." And I love the guy, man. He's nutty. He's written some of my favorite comics. Oh man, imagine, you're 17, 18, 19 years old, working in a comic shop. Before I owned one, by the way, Eric. And comics, yeah, you love superhero stuff, but you want edgier stuff at that age. You know how you are.
Mhm.
And Alan Moore stuff was coming out. Miller's Daredevil was a little around that time. New Teen Titans by Wolfman and Perez. You even had when Byrne was doing pretty good on FF or whatever. You had, but you had some of the edgy stuff coming out. Like my boy Mark C. loved the Howard Chaykin, American Flag. People were loving it. I was loving Rocketeer and Star Slayer and John Sable and Mike Rowe. So I love the superheroes, but I liked the edgier stuff at that point because that's the way you kind of are when you're, going into young adulthood. And Alan Moore, good God, what he was doing with Swamp Thing alone, it's just amazing.
You know what? I've never read Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, so would you recommend it?
I would, especially the first. What kind of compiles into the first? I'm not sure what's wrong with this thing. The first. Am I getting a lot of feedback there? The first four or five trades in particular, yeah. If you start at the anatomy lesson where he first started out, the comic was about to be canceled. They had that movie. I don't know if you're familiar with the first film by Wes Craven.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh God! Oh, the second film, of course, was on Flash's list the other night, a couple weeks ago. But the first film, I didn't think was very good either. But it's fun, it's cute. But anyway, that didn't help. The comic was bi-monthly and about to be canceled. And I started, and again, as you know, there's no internet. This is 1981 and 82 and stuff, and I started hearing about this writer named Alan whatever and Swamp Thing. People say you gotta buy Swamp Thing, man. I went and grabbed the early issues, and where he started it. He started with issue number 20, but 21 is the one where he starts the anatomy lesson. And holy shit, it just opened up my eyes to this whole new type of comic book writing. Look, at the time, comic book writers, yeah, there were plenty of them I liked, but it was the art, the artists, the Kirbys and the Gil Kanes and the Neil Adams and the George Perez and the John Burns and the people like that people bought comics for. This was the first time after a few years of his early writings, and he started doing some other stuff for DC. And of course, he'd been doing stuff for the British Mags Warrior in 2080, that he was, you would actually see in the price guide written by Alan Moore. You never saw that in the comics collecting price guide world ever. It was always who did the art. If it was a special artist that did it, you would never see in the price guide written by Stan Lee or Roy Thomas or whoever, or Marv Wolfman or Lynn Wein. But Alan Moore wrote a story. It didn't matter who did the art. It was huge at that point. So.
You hear how he says Stan Lee?
Oh, we're not going to do that today.
Stan Lee.
Yeah, that's
mocking.
That's kind of
venomous.
Nobody on YouTube knows my stance on Stan Lee because it upsets people too bad.
I think they just figured it out.
Oh, they might have. I have my criticisms. I have my criticisms, folks. You can let me. Thank you, Flash, for outing me.
I love that you were like John Byrne and Stan Lee. That you can just hear the venom dripping off of your tongue like a snake.
Thanks for outing me, buddy.
You're welcome.
Do you realize that gets you in more trouble than crapping on Santa Claus?
You can backtrack on it. Retract your tweet.
Okay, so I did do it for 11 years on BTR, but over here I've been clean until now.
Retract your tweet. It'll be all right. Say that wasn't me. That was that other asshole. I didn't say anything. He was reading things into this. He's a troublemaker.
I apologize. Isn't that how you do it? I'm so sorry, and I apologize for saying something that would offend anyone. I really don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. What if Alan Moore did it? I apologize for all the nasty things I said about
He wouldn't do that.
Watchmen, you stupid fuckers. I mean,
That's how he'd end it, yeah.
he wouldn't. Again, we're all man babies for liking superhero movies. You remember that one? You saw that one recently? There's something wrong with people for adults liking superhero movies.
Yes.
No one would know who he is without superheroes.
Who said that?
Alan Moore.
Alan Moore.
Well, it's Alan Moore, dude.
I'm in trouble now. Let's see what you do not like Stan Lee. That's it. I'm out here. One thing put it to you like this. I've studied the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko dynamic of who did what credit wise and all that kind of stuff. And I just think Stan kind of hogged a lot of credit over the years. And
keep going, you'll feel better.
And well, man, this is the two greatest geek experiences.
It's like a real Dr. Phil moment here right now. Just keep going.
It's cathartic. Go on.
Well, Purple and Flash, the two greatest geek experiences of my life, as Flash knows because I've bored him enough with it, were meeting the king of comics, Jack Kirby, both times. And
wow.
That's just doesn't get much better than that, meeting Kirby. And
what was he like?
Oh my God, it was like meeting your grandfather for the first time. And he and his wonderful wife Roz. I actually bought a couple of pieces of original art from him in 1986, and then I met him again in 1990 and got to spend hours and hours with him over the course of a couple of days of a con. And it was just the greatest geek heaven. And again, he told us old war stories. I'm meeting the greatest creative force in all the 20th century, in my opinion, because how much stuff this man created is just incalculable. And he's the greatest. And he's not just my favorite comic book artist. He's my favorite creator, and it's not even close. And I just believe that Jack did most of the creating. I've studied it for a long time. Now that's not just Jack's story. That's a lot of other studies. I believe Steve Ditko did most of the heavy lifting on Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Stan did things, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I've always been kind of resentful of some of the things Stan said and things like that. And it's been a dispute. It doesn't mean I hate him, but I've been angry with him a little bit because of what happened. I don't know if you're familiar with what happened with Jack Kirby, but he got screwed over. I mean, he's not the only comic book creator that did.
No, but he was never bitter about it, if I remember correctly. Perhaps you could probably correct me on that if that's the case.
He was never what now? Credited correctly?
Bitter about it.
He was a little bitter.
Wasn't bitter?
Yeah. A little bit, but he was not to his fans. I mean, this was a guy, in 1970, he started the Bronze Age by moving to DC, and he started the Fourth World and stuff like that, leaving Marvel. And he moved out to California, and there are so many stories that some guys who later became comic book professionals, like Len Wein, Marv Wolfman, and many others, they hitchhike out just to go meet their hero, Jack Kirby. They would go out to Thousand Oaks where they lived and meet the Kirbys. And Jack Kirby and Roz would take them in, feed them, show them the studio, just treat them like they were their own kids. And they have that reputation of just being such wonderful people. And they lived up to it. The times I met them, they say, don't meet your heroes. Both of them, they were just fantastic to me. And it was just unbelievable. I got a picture of me and Kirby that I'm always showing on here when I met him. And, Stan's gone around telling a lot, kind of hogging a lot of the credit, I believe, when it comes to the creations of what they did for Marvel. The ones he co-created with Jack, and I'm willing to say co-creators. I believe that when it comes down to it, Jack, they created the Marvel method, which was a telephone conversation of about 10 minutes. Hey, what are the Fantastic Four going to do this week? What about if Dr. Doom kidnaps Sue and brings her to his island and the FF have to go after him or whatever? There would be like some bare bones plot discussion. and they'd be off the phone, and then Jack Kirby would bring him 20, 30 pages or whatever of a wholly drawn comic book with words all inside the margins and everything like that. And for a while anyway, Stan would, got to get rid of Jack's words and put his own words in there. And then he calls that writing. I believe most of the plotting, most of the creating, most of the characterization. Now, Stan had a lot to do with the characterization here and there. But I believe most of the creative, heavy lifting, in addition to the guy drawing the book, was Jack. And same thing with Steve Ditko and Stan with Spider-Man. And,
he kind of stood on their shoulders and took a lot of the credit then.
And Stan had a lot of times where he kind of just said he did it all. And, people would ask him, hey, so what were you thinking when you created the Fantastic Four or Hulk or Spider-Man? And he would just go into a story about some kind of stuff. And like, yeah, you're not mentioning Jack? Come on, man. Clobberin Times, what you have. You know what? You have a point. I do all the heavy lifting for Gary. He even got people to the new live channel. Now I'm upset doing all that work while he's just sitting pretty. Oh man. See what you did, Flash? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Just because I mentioned his name. I knew you were going to jump on me. No, I feel worse. Now, Stan gets too much credit for some things. He was a look. What he deserves a lot of credit. Marvel might not have been on the map without his showmanship and stuff. But Stan, they were shutting down the doors at Marvel. Well, they weren't called Marvel; they were Atlas, and they weren't even Marvel Comics. And they basically bring Jack in there, and they said, we got, was it Jack Leibowitz, who owned National, which was basically DC, was bragging about the Justice League doing well, and Stan and Martin Goodman, who was running the company, got the Stan and Jack and said, we need something like that. And I've seen that draft thing where it's one page of Stan Lee writing to Jack Kirby about what we need to do. Well, there's a book called Challengers of the Unknown that was in the 50s that Joe Simon and Jack Kirby created that is basically the Fantastic Four. He just took the Challengers and gave them superpowers. And Stan had nothing to do with the Challengers.
See how I push his buttons?
I'm sorry. Nobody wants to hear that crap. I'm sorry.
I've been doing it for a long time, man.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What about Rob Liefeld's Fighting American? Kirby's widow got screwed. That was horrible. That jack off. I don't know if Liefeld knew what he was doing then. But yeah, and Purple, I don't know if you know, but it took till 2013 before the Kirby's family got anything.
No, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, they basically finally in court, Disney was shamed, and now you see Kirby's name in the credits of the Marvel movie, the MCU, and they get paid a little bit now, and they get invited to the premieres and stuff. They get paid.
You see history change by Stan Lee's reactions to questions, because, like you said, he would talk about how he created Spider-Man, but then after that, an interview would come along, and they'd say, "Tell us about how you created Spider-Man." And he would go, co-created. It's like, Jesus Christ, you want me to get sued or something? And all of a sudden, it starts dropping co in there. It corrects them. Co.
There's a documentary on YouTube done back in the late aughts, I think it was. It's called In Search of Steve Ditko. Are you familiar with Steve Ditko, Purple? The co-creator of Spider-Man? Yeah, great artist. And,
oh, yeah.
And Jonathan Ross? You familiar with Jonathan Ross?
Jonathan Ross is in the TV presenter.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a huge Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby fan. He was a big comic book fan. And he wanted to meet Steve Ditko. So he came to New York and he went and he brought a film crew and he went and knocked on Steve Ditko's door at his this is 2007, 8, whatever it was. Knocked on his studio door in his office. And
Ditko shot him.
Ditko basically just killed him. No. He came outside. He said, basically, he told us to fuck off. So he went to his buddy Neil Gaiman. And Neil Gaiman got him in the door, but they couldn't film anything. So they got him to go spend like an hour and a half. And they were like children. I mean, Neil Gaiman loves Ditko. And Ross was like beside himself when they came back out saying, "We got to meet Steve Ditko. Oh my God, he gave us comic books. He talked to us for half an hour." And of course, this is called In Search of Steve Ditko. It's a multi-part, really good documentary about him. And in that documentary, he interviews Stan Lee. And he asks, this is before, I mean, Ditko never gets anything, by the way. He didn't want anything. He's like Alan Moore times 20. Even though they don't have the same political views, he doesn't want a dime for Spider-Man. And even they tried to give him money, he didn't want it. Well, of course, he passed away a few years ago. But anyway, he said they asked Stan Lee, do you think that Steve Ditko co-created Spider-Man? And he said, and by the way, we found out later that Stan Lee's attorney was supposed to be at that, one of his representatives, this is before he started being exploited as an old man by a bunch of creeps. One of his attorneys was supposed to make that interview and was caught in traffic. So Stan Lee kept saying, yes, in my opinion, Steve Ditko co-created Spider-Man. In my opinion, he kept hemming and hawing about it. Okay, all right. Basically, you're admitting that Steve Ditko deserved, and of course, Ditko was hard-headed about it anyway. But I mean, they weren't going to be able to give him anything, but they could have pushed it. But he basically just admitted that he didn't do it by himself. In point of fact, Kirby and they took a lot of some original Kirby concepts, but it was mostly Ditko that did it all. And in fact, I also firmly believe Doctor Strange had very little to do with Stan Lee because he hated Doctor Strange and he didn't want to keep doing it. The fans kept begging him to do more Doctor Strange, and I think he didn't get that comic at all, and it was all Ditko. He didn't like it. He didn't like Doctor Strange, but By the way, that's a good point. That still, Bill Finger really got. But he only got screwed over one character. Jack Kirby got screwed over by billions of characters. Are you familiar with Bill Finger, Purple?
Oh, yeah.
Batman, yeah. Have you seen that documentary? Oh, my God.
I haven't actually, no. I'll have to track that one down.
It was on Hulu, right, Flash?
Yes.
Batman and Bill or whatever. It'll make you cry. It's so sad. It's Yeah. So, but a lot of people got screwed over. Speaking of screwed over comic creators, Hulu has a wonderful. Bill Finger. That's right. That is one we were just talking about. That's absolutely true. So, by the way, some people think that Flash created Clobberin times, and I screwed him all over.
Dude, I'm just getting ready to say that.
I knew you were. That's why I wanted to say it first.
I swear to you, I was just getting ready to say that.
I knew you were, you son of a bitch. That's why I jumped it.
Yeah, I know. See how he is?
I don't know, man. Hey, man, maybe I've learned from Stan.
See,
that's why you two work together so well.
The original title was Clobberin. Mike removed the G and stole it.
Yeah, we all know that's not true because the saying was always Clobberin time. Oh.
All right.
That's
your story.
I'm not sure.
Lie, however you want to tell it.
I remember when I created everything in the entire universe, and I created creating things. Yeah, remember that when I just pilgrim coming at you, true believers. On Stan's soapbox. Yeah, I got in trouble for making fun of Stan with some people because look, he's Santa Claus, and look. I wasn't happy. I felt bad when he passed, and it was horrible because he got treated horribly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I also have to admit, Purple, that I don't know if you've watched a lot of the MCU movies.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
That little cameo every time. Well, certain sicko friends of mine who would go to the movies with me to have certain friends would go to see, the Marvel movies with when they were still making those things, and they took special delight in the way I would swarm in my chair and yell and scream at the screen every time they Stan would pop up. Yes, it was immature. I'd see him and I'd go, oh, shit! Oh!
There he is again.
There he is! Oh, God, no, I hate this part. I had to... Other people in the theater go, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? But... I'm the co-creator of Loki's Mornings of Mischief. Where's my check, Loki? Oh, is that true? Oh, my. We're going to have to talk to Loki, man. Well, come on now, Loki. We're gonna have to call him on that one, buddy. Jack Kirby had designed a Halloween costume called Spider-Man a few years before. Well, he'd also worked on a character called Silver Spider, a character called The Fly. They took some stuff, but it was mostly Ditko that did it. And look, yes, Stan was there. See, the thing is, Stan created something called the Marvel Method. They did create that in a way, and it was basically have a conversation and send the artist off to draw a comic book. Christopher Crockett, my old friend, good to see you, buddy. Oh, there we go. Friggin' Steve. In my opinion, Mike is the co-creator of Clobberin Time. It doesn't hurt the fact that, I didn't even know Flash when I named it.
Oh, is that the story you're using?
Yeah. I ain't paying you a dime, bro. I paid you enough. Oh, dear. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I am thinking about taking credit for creating Latino slant. Nah, Paulie's not even here. I can't even mess with him. I'm going to tell him that. I'm going to tell him that next time.
He's got 200 subscribers, and I pee in a cup in an alley, and he doesn't care.
Oh, Flash.
Well, now you're just trying to make a joke about Siegel and Schuster. It's about that bad, Purple. I mean, Siegel and Schuster, that what happened to them, the creators of Superman. In the 70s, they were, Joe Shuster was getting too old. Even Shuster could not see; he was mostly blind, and he used to have he and I think Jerry Siegel at one point had a delivery job in the 70s where he would have to actually deliver crap to DC Comics, who owned Superman, paid him nothing, and Neil Adams, good on the great artist Neil Adams, and a few other people shamed Warner. Because they knew that Superman movie was coming out, and they shamed him and said, "You're going to get bad press." And they basically forced him to pay pretty piddling amount, but to give those two a little bit of money. And I mean a little bit, even by those standards. It was 20, 30,000, whatever it was.
Really?
They gave him, yeah. But at that time they were so broke. It wasn't really until 2013, or 11 and 13, some of they're similar to when Kirby got kind of that. DC started giving the Siegel and Schuster heirs, more money. For a few years, there was a lot of, for years it dragged through the courts, and there were certain, I don't know, like some 2008 or 9 up until 11 or 12, whatever it was, there were a lot of stuff, a lot of things in dispute over all the different creations, different characters connected to Superman. So, and Bill Finger didn't get his name on anything with Batman until the movie Batman versus Superman. It was the first time. That's how long that took.
That I didn't know. Really?
It is, what was that girl's name? That his daughter, or not his daughter's descendant? What was she? Flash. In that documentary. Whatever her name was.
Don't remember.
Well, not she and the guy who the guy was Batman himself, that absolute superhero. The guy, whatever his name was, I forget his name now, but I'm sorry, I forget his name. He went to the theater for the first time to see that, and he was just like, "We're finally seeing now. Anything with Batman in it, it'll say Bill Finger on it." But Project Storytime, thank you for being here, sir. It's great to meet you. Are you guys hearing any feedback?
A little bit.
I can't figure out what it is.
I'm not catching it.
You're not? It's probably your fault then.
Yeah, probably.
Well, hey, anybody got anything they want to say about 2020? We'll let everybody kind of get out of here since it's so late. We won't keep anybody much later. But anybody got anything Purple to say about 2020?
For me, as bad as 2020 was, like you said earlier, it's the community that's kind of got me through this year. Being able to interact with all you guys online, being able to make the channel, and just to have so many friends online that care about you. I think we've proved over and over again, when somebody needs something, the whole community rallies around them. I think that's what I'll take from 2020.
That is such a good point, and I'm remiss because I forgot to mention. Of course, a couple of weeks back, I ended up testing positive for the coof there,
Yes, how are you
and
now?
I'm fine now. I really didn't have anything that bad. Like my son kind of had a little bit worse than me, but this was a couple weeks back, and Flash, these wonderful people. Whom I've only hung out with on streams. We all live all over the world, including the wonderful Purple who did the choosing. I understand, Purple. Thank you, by the way. They all got together. I told Loki because I wanted somebody online in case something did happen. I wanted somebody, but I didn't really want anyone to know. But my good friend was concerned with me for me. My good buddy Mark C. He told the Loki gang and stuff. And they all got together. All these wonderful people that I've just adored, these new friends of mine that I'm just going to say friends, not new, and nothing new about them. People that are just amazing with this fandom family, as they say, got together and they all sent me a wonderful package of all these health foods and stuff. Now, Flash is going to laugh. You eating health foods? I doubt you. But they were snack. I'm sure you wouldn't.
That you know of.
In fact, there's still so much of it left there in Purple because my son and I were eating some of it, and my son was laughing at me because they must not know you. You're not going to eat healthy crap. I said, no, I'll eat that. Well, not all of it. I mean, I'll eat because we still have some of it left. I don't even know what was that. I mean, where did that come from?
It was just something that we found, like the one that we found for our lovely Mike. We just wanted to do something to show how much we care, and we do.
Yes, I appreciate you so much for that. I mean, it just touched my heart so much, all of you. That was really wonderful, and thank you all for that. And again, that just went such a long way, making me feel a lot better because kind of my Christmas was kind of screwed up, but I felt really bad for my son, who's his test came a little bit after mine. He still can't go back to work till he gets a negative, result. And he's had to get tested like twice now. And with me, since I lost my job in August, it's a little bit different. But it's just this wonderful thing about the internet for all of its faults. You meet all these wonderful people, meeting of the minds. It's truly amazing.
I don't have any right to make fun of what you eat. I eat at Permanente Brothers. I have French fries on my sandwiches. How could I possibly make fun of what anybody eats?
I love chip sandwiches. You have good taste.
Oh,
Chips. Yeah. That's nice. A staple in the UK.
Really? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I've seen these crazy sandwiches. These some pictures of on there. Man. Well, one day, Flash, I'm driving up there. And I'm going to that. But speaking of comic shops, there's a big comic shop that our buddy Mark C goes to that you were telling me about all the time, Flash, in Pittsburgh. Mark C goes to that one all the time.
Yeah, Ides.
I guess that's the one he's talking about. He said there's a real big one there.
Yeah, it's somehow managed to stay alive since like the early 70s.
I'm such a dork, Purple, that I'm pretty easy to please. If I could go ride cross country and hit comic shops, the few that are left, I love doing that. I love going and hours, going into those things.
That would be a really cool road trip.
Oh God, yeah, yep. A few years back in 2015, I got into a car. I rented a car by myself because I didn't want to use my truck, and I just took off and I drove up to Illinois and for the first time got to go visit the Superman Museum, which is in Metropolis, Illinois, which is just amazing.
Yes, I've heard about that. I didn't know that existed until somebody mentioned it a few months ago.
It's incredible. I mean, and one thing Metropolis, Illinois is a metropolis. But if you're riding through those, about in the sticks near through there, or through that little bitty thing, you'll see signs, "Welcome to Metropolis, Illinois, the home of the Superman Museum." You'll see Superman signs everywhere, which is cool. Then I drove to the NFL Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, for about 10 hours from there. Then I drove to Dragon Con for the rest of the weekend and hung with buddies and stuff like that. So I don't know if they're ever going to have another Dragon Con again, but
I hope so. We're very much hoping that it'll happen because we'd like to do a Valhalla meetup at Dragon Con.
That'd be amazing. And again, I think they're going to schedule it. they're scheduling some cons here now. And again, that's Labor Day weekend, so maybe it's far off enough.
Yes, it's September time, if I remember correctly. Is that correct? Yeah.
When?
September, is it Labor Day?
Yeah, it's always the first week. It's the first week in the end of August for beginning of September.
Okay. Now,
if they do have it, it will probably be less crowded than usual. And that is one crowded sumbitch of a convention. There's it's 6-7 hotels and one gigantic, unbelievably huge convention center. It's serious. It is ginormous there. So yes, entertainment. There you go, Flash. Yep.
I knew that.
Grabbing books, walk down to Woolies, pronounced Woolies, and have a whaler. Do we know what a whaler is, Flash? I'm guessing you do.
A whaler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a Whopper?
It's a fish sandwich, right?
Oh. Makes sense. Okay, cool. Well, Flash, do you have anything to say about 2020?
Good riddance.
Sucks.
Yeah, good riddance. Honestly, in spite of all this, I've got some things to be thankful for. I never stopped working, so that was good. I have to work tomorrow, but then I have 3 days off, and I'll be moving to a brand new facility, multi-million-dollar facility. So I've got to learn how to do everything. So, I mean, all in all, things are not horrific for me. They're a lot worse for a lot of other people. I mean, I really don't have a lot to complain about. So, just hope that this is over soon and things can, at least start to get back to normal. I'll take the little things, I'll take the thing, the fact that no one in my family has gotten sick. I've continued to work. Our life has kind of gone on, except for, inconveniences. Hockey's coming back, so it's all gravy, baby. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we'll chip away at this.
Well, that's great, man. We can get this whole thing over. The next time I have any kind of chance of a vacation, I'm coming up there. So you can be ready to take me to Permandy and then go to that comic shop, man.
You got it.
I can't wait, man. Purple, I cannot tell you how much I'm pleased I am to have you here hang with me again. I know it's like 5 in the afternoon, by this point over there, up down there, 5 in the morning, whatever it is.
It's maybe 6, yeah.
And you have a show to do, of course. Aren't you doing a show today?
Yes. Well, we've Sammy will let me tag along. Yeah, definitely. We've got the Star Trek Discovery review on Loki's channel because the boss is on vacation at the moment.
Wow, no Valkyrie show though?
No, that was today, and Friday we're going to take over the morning show as well, and then I might do something on Sunday if I have time.
Excellent. Everyone, please go to Valkyrie's channel. The Valkyrie's channel is a link down below, please. And of course, if any of you watch the show Vikings, I know that you two review that show, right? The regular new ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a change up. We're going to pre-record the next half of season 4 and just release it as videos and just give people a little bit of a break from the live reviews, do something else on the Mondays, I think, for January. Just bring in a little bit new content, I think.
Excellent. Well, I know Paulie with Latino Sun, he was asking me if he wanted me to watch it, so he'd like to review it too. Apparently you guys got him hooked on that.
Really? Awesome.
I think he said, yeah, I think it was where he learned about it or something, listened to you all, and I think he really likes it now. I told him the Vikings always, miss the playoffs and, always mess up in the fourth quarter. And he goes, yeah, very funny. Stupid football joke. You got that one? I mean, I figured that would be like American football. You wouldn't even know, but I guess who the Minnesota Vikings are.
Oh, Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, I got it.
Good. Well, and
we've got a football weekend here this weekend.
Oh, that's right. You don't even watch football, but you just want to go to Perani Brothers.
Yeah, for the Stellars.
Your Stillers, yeah, Pittsburgh
Stillers.
Steelers are in the playoffs. Yeah, buddy.
Watch the Stellars.
You just want them to go to the Super Bowl so you can go to a damn Super Bowl party at Permantic.
Oh yeah. I don't care about football. Penguins all the way, baby. I don't give a shit about football.
I miss football. I had to give it up, but I miss it. I don't miss it too much. I watch the old games.
Oh, tomorrow we'll get to see West Virginia get their ass kicked in a bowl game. So
that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. It's always fun to get them to see their ass get. I know you like seeing them get their asses kicked.
Yeah, that's the big joke around here. What do the West Virginia Mountaineers and marijuana have in common? They both get smoked in bowls.
I love it. When was the last time they won a bowl game? Like the 70s?
No, it was more recent
Yeah,
than that, but I don't remember when.
Poor old Mountaineers.
Maybe.
The 80s. Tell Flash, New Dimension Comics at the Homestead Waterfront is great for back issues and dollar boxes. They have hundreds of New Dimension Comics. Have you been to that one, Flasher?
Is this in Pittsburgh?
I think so. That's where he goes a lot. He didn't say, but it must be Pittsburgh.
No, I don't think I've been there.
Huh. I'm game.
I'll have to check it out.
I want to thank everyone who was here with us tonight. Of course, the great Mark C. Soon, at the beginning of the new year, Mark C. and I will be reviewing Walt Simonson's Thor run, classic Thor run from the 80s, because it's probably the best Thor run ever, really. I mean, I prefer the Kirby run before that, but other than the Kirby run, I think he's going to hit me now because he really likes the Simonson run better. But the Simonson run is brilliant, and we're going to review that. Steve Mitchell, my friend, buddy, thank you for being here. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everyone. Mark with a C. The great Eric K, my buddy. Project Storytime. I think he's already gone, but thank him. I thank you anyway, sir. Christopher Crockett, my good friend. Thank you for being here, buddy. There were a lot of other wonderful people here. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Tim Hayes was here, by the way. Tim Hayes, thank you. I'm scrolling back just to see if there's anybody I missed. Lord Thoth was here, but he had to run. But I appreciate him, and I appreciate everyone.
While you're scrolling, I'm going to say, Purple, was very nice to meet you.
You too. Pleasure to meet you, Flash. Thank you.
Hey, we had somebody with class on here for once.
That is a new thing for us, Purple. I got to tell you.
I'm so honored. Thank you for asking me to join you guys.
Oh, I'm just so. Again, I know it's a burden because you're just so late in the morning, everything. So you were just
my
amazing.
idea, but Mike took credit for it.
Of course. See what I have to put up with? Purple, beautiful lady, you were so fantastic. I'm so glad we finally got to hang out, and I apologize for Flash. You know, what can I tell you? He's not. You know, he's not.
What if we only had a nickel for every time you had to say that?
I love you guys. You've got such a good chemistry together.
Again, look. I'm gonna get mushy on him. I don't care if he says anything about it. I'll just smack him upside his head. Flash, love you, brother. Thanks for hanging, man. I miss hanging with you more. And dude, well, let's do it more, brother. Or I'll call you nasty names.
You don't do that anyway.
Oh yeah. Thanks, brother. And thank you, Purple. And I guess we should pay tribute to the great Stone Loki by playing, because he is the man, playing a little bit of this intro, just a little bit of it for everyone.